Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Friday, September 3rd, and starting with Bitcoin on the daily chart here, and we're looking at, well, what I think is the most bullish, the most logical bullish count. Well, there is another bullish count that we're going to have a look at as well. But in this case here, just looking at this as an expanded flat with wave 1 here, wave 3, with an A and a B and a C here for wave 4. And then looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and counting up here as 3, 4 and 5. Remember, the 61.8% mark is at 51,100. So also here as well, this is just the 78.6, the square root of that. But normally I find we're probably between, well, above 50,000, we've got minor group 1, which is 51, 52 and 53. So if we got support on 53, then we would see further upside. It's okay for the market to trade above 53, but finding support on 53 or not finding support on 53 is what that's all about. And if that's the case, then with support, we would just be climbing higher at that point. We'll have a look at a count that can take us that way. But if this is the count, then we'd be pulling back for wave 2. That's simple. We have seen this divergence here in this, in this trend, but I don't particularly like looking at indicators like that, but I use them because they're on trend and people like them. So I prefer to look at the volume. So looking at the volume here, we can see that the price has been moving up and the volume has been diminishing. I mean, essentially that's what you're looking at with that divergence with indicators. It's the same over here as this was pushing up through here. Yes, it was continuing up, but we're seeing lower and lower volume until it came to a point that just, it was too low to sustain, and then turning it at that point. So yeah, look, it's hard to be convinced about a bullish market. I mean, I just having difficulty getting my sort of head around the situation. We've had this as the A wave, the B wave and the C wave to this point here, but and we haven't made a new high yet, but this appears to be corrective at this point, so we should be making a new high up through there. But we're just looking at this Bitstamp chart because of the volume here. We've shown it once before, and yeah, I just think that we just need to be mindful of that. And even so, I mean, a market pushing up would need a correction back in due course anyway, and it is hitting supply levels up here for all of this. So lower volume supply levels, as I've always mentioned, I would like to see a classic trading levels pattern at the 50,000. And that means that we would have the arrival here, the reaction here, the first high above the level, then a corrective pattern at that point. And that's what I would expect, and that's what we'd be looking at here. So we've got that, and now we're sitting here somewhere. So we need that, and then we can look at it folding back and checking and slowly building, because in the chart there's a lot of supply over here up at the between 50 and 65, and 65 is a medium level, so it's going to kind of want to pin all that back down onto the 50. So it's going to, this is the point of change at that stage. The other count here that we've also looked at before, don't need this now, the other chart, the other way to look at this, because I'd seen this here as wave 1, 2 and 3, the range is getting smaller and smaller on lower volume. That's why I think it's weak. I just can't, now that we've got that little corrective pattern in here, it makes it more bullish. So I still haven't sort of figured out how it can be a bearish pattern at this particular point. I've got one point that we can look at. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, but in the next video. Wave 4, not wave 4. I've been making too many videos and going a bit potty. So this is the other one that we looked at. So, and this one here is considering this one as the low, and there's a good case for that. There's quite a few stocks. I mean, if we come back here for a moment, and let's just go back to a daily, not a 1 hour chart, a daily situation here. Bring this in, and Let me have a look here. I was looking at some the other day. What's this one here? Bitcoin Cash, we know that one. So it's got kind of a low here, hasn't it, Bitcoin Cash, you know, and we'll probably look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And this next one, much the same as well. It's got that deeper move to the low here. Sure, it doesn't look could be impulsive, not quite sure just yet with this, because we've only probably got 3 waves up here at this stage, so probably 1 and 2 to this point, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, so probably a 4th wave and 5th wave, which would probably be about right. Because this stock here, see how this pattern here, we're thinking, well, that could be a 4th pattern in a 4th wave in the last one. It's made a new high here, you know, and it's got that low there. So is it possible to take Bitcoin from that low, you know, and looking it up as 1, 2, 3, 4, it would kind of fit the theme of things going across the board. Yeah, I mean, we know Ethereum's pushing up and we can have a quick look at that. So in this bullish count, we could take this as the low here and look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And in here, I've also been looking at 1 and 2, which we can have a look on the tick chart. And we're talking about that yesterday. So yeah, and this would be 1 and 2 in here. So all this sort of fits okay. It's, you know, I don't know, but it's a long shot. It's sort of a bit hopeful, I think. But in for a penny, in for a pound. How much do we need here? 20, is that enough? Maybe a bit more. Okay, so we'd been looking at this here at wave 1 here, and ABC for wave 2, and then up for 1 here. This alternative wave 4 is just something else I'm working on. So wave 1 here with an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave. And yes, everybody's going to say wave 4 overlaps that, but at the end of the day, it's the best fit for all of this. I suppose you could look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, and then the B wave, and then the C wave. Still same sort of result. You know, and when we're looking at the bear market, we're looking at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 to the downside, and then 1 and back for 2 here to the 61.8%. But we got that little impulse wave here off the low, and then the corrective move here. So that's where I move back into my position at this point, because I understood at that point we're going to be moving through the 61.8% of this high to this low at that point, because we had 5 waves here. That means we'd get another 5, which would take us too high at that point. So that became obvious to me that the 46,500 wasn't going to be breached again this time, so we didn't have that bear move. So yesterday we started counting up here as 1 and 2, and then probably 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then all of this is the 3rd wave, or 4th wave, and 5th wave, a little bit tight. And maybe that's we could count that a little bit differently. But yesterday we talked about getting wave 1 up here and coming back for wave 2. So we could look at this as the A and the B here, and this would be the C wave here. So there's probably more to be had here. All of that would be wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So down to the 48,000 for a bounce at this particular point in time. Obviously, if you know, if this keep coming down through here, then you know, Houston, SpaceX, what's the other one? Blue Origin. We've got a problem. But it seems to be pretty bullish. I mean, if we look at ETH here for a moment, you know, if we take it from this high, we've got an A and a B and a C down to this point. We can look at this as, well, 1 and 2, and, well, you could probably, yeah, you'd have to look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave. But even if you didn't take any of that on board, you'd still have 1 and 2 here, and we still don't have the 3rd wave here, the 4th or the 5th. So there's still more upside for ETH, as we discussed yesterday. In terms of the trading levels, it's just at number 8 here, and we always call 8 a profit taking number. It's the 3rd strongest number. and you can just always expect the bids to be hit. And when I say always, you know, you could say 95% or 99%, but you know, that doesn't really mean anything, does it, when you think about it? But most of the time when you get to number 8, you'll see profit taking, because it's the first sort of number that people, you know, it's the same as thinking about 10, isn't it? People don't think of 9 or 11, they think of 10, you know. There's that kind of psychology. So if you're moving up here and you wanted to take profit early, well then 8 would be it, you know, because obviously everybody else is going to take it at 4, at the big whole number here. So, but yeah, this structure is just not finished yet, so we'll be looking for some sort of classic trading levels pattern on this in this area through here for this. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. So thanks for tuning in. Cheers.